Fucking Shios. Yeah, buddy. I just won my pill that fast. Won the pill that fucking fast. You know, we don't do no lying. Chaos don't do no lying. They hit me with a hate speech. I don't do no lying. I won an appeal in 2 minutes. I get my life is violated. I win the appeal in 2 fucking minutes. I said my life is violated. I win the appeal in 2 minutes. Shit is crazy, man. It's sad they watching us. They reporting us. They not smashing the likes. So the people that be coming here, see? That's why them people be getting so many people in their lives. They ain't talking about shit. What we talk about is dangerous. Everything we talk about is dangerous. Everything we talk about is dangerous. It's a hate speech. Anytime I get on here, it's a hate speech. Anytime I get on live, it's a hate speech or hateful behavior. Huh? We are God butchers. Remember, we light eaters. Gods are light. We eat gods. We are the enemy of light. Remember, light is law. That Mayadish bird is law. We are chaos, serpent, abyss, earth, water, elementals. We're not no fucking sky daddy, air, fire, elementals, masculine, daddy, yang, bird energy people, phoenixes, Nephilim, goatmen. Get the hell out the light, my people. Get out the desert. Get out the light. Please. We are stuck in the damn light. Blinded by the light.
I saw on YouTube friends on Facebook.
Hey, Chaos, someone reported the life or what?
To stop us.
Okay, because I can see the RP form here. Wow. So
Yes.
people are afraid to hear the truth.
No. Listen, what we do is we're severing ties from the light, from the cave. So we're bringing our people back home. You understand?
Yeah, I understand.
Remember, it was against the law for us to talk at one time.
Exactly. Yeah. Now they cannot control it anymore. And
well, look, they are, because they're violating us.
Yeah, but
Look. Nia Bond, she can't go live and get guests on her panel. Her live is messed up. They just banned my other page. Susie's sick. So they either getting us sick, they banning our pages, or they messing with our pages.
You know, you can't stop their rising. So they're going to try, but they cannot, because they know. You have to create your own reality. It was whatever you accept becomes part of you. They cannot stop us. They don't have the privilege. They don't have the possibilities. So they just try. But the truth must be told, and people must accept the truth and start to think or accept consciousness realistically. That is the only way. Nothing can change it. The lies, the deceits, the deceives, the has been for a long time, but the time has come. People speak out, people share their mind and view, people share from experience, people share from research and everything. So it's big, it's too wide for them to control right now. So that's the reason why they when they come to your life, they are not even courageous enough to come and you know, comment on what you're saying, bring proof to prove you wrong. So what they do, they report, saying it's a violation. We are greater, we are bigger, we are better.
Yeah. Hey, look. We got a cave baby in the in the comments talking about something. There is no African phenotype. Stop claiming whole continent. So look, let's address the cave. So when we put up the visuals, so
It's not in.
look. When we put up forensic anthropology, see, remember, this is science. This
The
is
same they teach you in their Western education. Just listen.
so look. They look. They don't want us to do this because this shows them that they're not African. This shows them that they are not African. Because look, Negroid is African, African is black. This is for educational purposes. They reporting alive. So this is for educational purposes. So remember, African is black, black is African. So this is their descriptions of us. This is their documentation. This is our skull in their lab. They're measuring our faces, our features, and defining them. And then as soon as we say, hey, look, this is an African skull, they're going to say, hey, stop claiming the entire continent. What are you talking about claiming a continent when we have a skull type that's named after the continent? Your skull type is named after Asia, the Caucasus. Just because your skull is Caucasian, your hair is Caucasian, your alphabets in general is Caucasian. The writing itself is Caucasian, it's caveman. So when you look up what ancient history is cave writings. All that cuneiform and hieroglyphic, that shit is cave. Hieroglyph is a Greek word. That's all caves. All that writing and shit, that's cave. That's spells. So my black people, get off that hotep, caught up in the desert lands of the funeral lands of the deserts. They keep trying to draw you out of desert planets, and we come from the tropical equatorial. Who's glorifying a place you can't? It's uninhabitable. Desert means deserted. It's uninhabitable. Get out of Egypt. Get out of Egypt. Get out of Arab Egypt. Get out of Arab Egypt. See, our hands may have built stuff, but it was built under the whip. We don't want credit for building under the whip and chains, under the force of being hung or burned, castrated. You don't want credit for building nothing under the threat of castration. Talking about we want to be proud for building something. We should have built a wall to keep their ass out. We want to be happy for building something. Oh, we built something. We invented something. We didn't invent nothing to keep them off our ass. Oh, we built something. We're smart. Nah, we ain't smart enough to get them off our ass, and they still on our ass right now. So the point is know thyself. See, we didn't know that a lot of times these wars wasn't even us on us. It's not black on black. It's not African on African. It's Tutsi on African. It's Fulani on African. It's Afro-Asiatic on African. It's the light-skin gene on the dark-skin gene. It's the African, the Eurasian. That's what's actually going on. This is not no civil war. It's people coming from caves versus people from the jungles. You understand? Hey, talking about some. Stop it. Damn, the views went down like hell. Do I got to put the appeal joint back up? They want to see what the appeal was about. We're going to experiment with real quick. We're going to leave this joint up there, but we still going to talk. See, phenotype means appearance. I'm trying to understand why when we talk about the African phenotype, they make it as if we made up the fucking word. When we quote forensic anthropology of documents of us and pictures of our skulls and our measurements of our wide noses and our kinky hair that's classified as African black, they're going to act like we just made this up today. So now we're getting credit for making up anthropology today in November 2024. We made up that Africans have wide noses today. Oh, man. That's sad. But that's why I show this. I give them their receipts that they want. Call yourself Redskins. Call yourself yellow race. Look, why are the Asians yellow? Wasn't the football team called Redskins? Bird feather. The brother just mentioned the feather game. Bird feather. Look at the light skin gene. SLC, Afro-Asiatic. OCA, light skin gene. Koi. Dravidian. That's the red man. That's Saimatriae. That's all in India. Either way, it's not African. They don't have African hair, and red is not it's not EU melanin. Stop it. So remember, when we go to looking at the people, we know who our people is. Look, all you gotta do is look at the nose and the mouth. If you don't see the hair, just look at the nose and the mouth of these people. Remember, this is for educational purposes. They're red. This is the red man, the Kushite, the Australian, the Hamite. We got documents on that. Let me pull the documents. Before we get to that, because I got so much goddamn stuff to go through. This is black surface. This is white surface. This is a dark surface. This is a light surface. Black absorbs. Brown absorbs. Both absorbents. Soil is goddamn black and brown. Coffee is black and brown. Coffee, black, brown. Soil, black, brown. Oil, black. You need oil in your soil. Oil in your soil. We come from fertile soil, where it's alive at. The soil is alive. You understand? Look at this cave. That's why we got to block him. Let's be the people that reporting us. Block. Mute. Yeah. All these people that be in here talking about we can't take this serious, those would be the ones that be reporting alive. Like, does Does he be on? Does he be watching TV, calling in the damn TV stations talking about something? Oh, we can't take this show serious. Like the Bible, religion means faith. You can take faith seriously. But when I give you the documents, when we talk reality, I gotta block people and shit. But here we go. We got the types of melanin. So remember, people say this melanated shit is dangerous. You have pheomelanin. We have EU melanin. Remember, pheo is red and yellow. Red and yellow. That's a light color. That's light production. You got the red man. You got the yellow man. The red man is the Kushite, the Arab, the Indian. The yellow man is the Asian, the Mongoloid, the mongrel. They're saying that the Khoisan is the progenitor of the mongrel yellow race, and they're saying that the Kushite Dravidian is the progenitor of Caucasians. How you not understanding that? Hold on, who that? I don't know about that. But let's change these visuals. But let me go through real quick. That's basically bird versus snake. Bird represents light, Eurasian, non-African, caveman, subterranean. They're indigenous to caves. They have no land title. I don't even know why they acting like they're indigenous to land. So we need to stop that. Now let me say this again. This is for educational purposes. They're not indigenous to land. Cavemen, cave women are indigenous to caves and caves alone. They're not from nowhere else land. They're from under the land. So they're African, they're inside the ground of Africa. Living under Africa. That's how they know where to mine for gold. That's how they know where to dig for materials. That's where they know where the oil is at. They live inside the ground. All of them. That's why they got to cover up all their skin. All their skin is covered. So just like the light skin gene we showed with the Khoi and the Afro-Asiatic, they are not close to the equator. Red and yellow pheomelanin light skin gene, nomadic pastoral, lactose persistent, goat herders, goat gene. They do not like radiation or rain. So when you see the Khois, the Afro-Asiatics, so Afro-Asiatics and Indo-European, all Eurasian cave babies, they're not in places where it's a lot of rain and a lot of radiation. And when they are, they passing out. They falling out. They got to walk around with umbrellas. They got to cover up all their skin. They got to wear sunscreen, sunblock, and look at the UV index every morning on the news so the news can tell them how much sunscreen to put on. If you look at the news, they're literally telling you about the days where it's going to be a lot of radiation and it's red. Look at the news in the morning. On the news, it'll show you the days. It'd be blue days and red days. When it's red days, that's radiation. That means get under a goddamn tree. It's gonna be cooking. It's gonna be some cooked birds. It's gonna be some cooked chicken. You see what I'm saying? Look at the Native American dressed in bird feathers everywhere. So remember, God will cover you with his wings and feathers. Allah in the Quran was talking about Solomon learning the language of birds, which was Amharic and some Oromo language. Look it up. Look up the language of birds, and one language going to be Amharic, and the other ones is going to be Oromo, if I'm not mistaken. Bird languages. So remember, we just showed them bird noses, and look, they got bird feathers on their hair. So we got bird nose. God will cover you with his wings and feathers. So God's a bird. Hence, you have angels with bird wings. So gods are birds. Angels is birds. They wearing bird headdresses. They got bird noses called the Aquilian nose, hawk nose, eagle nose, which is all narrow noses. So technically, we can't have a bird nose and we don't have a bird nose. You understand? No, we don't come from Fulanis. That's another bird. That's another Chadic, nomadic, pastoral, Afro-Asiatic cave. See, they don't fall under Afro-Asiatic. They fall under Niger Congo, but the Fulani is nomadic, pastoral, non-Africans. Fulanis, Bedouins, Berbers, Tutsis. Afro-Asiatics and Khois are technically not classified as black people, phenotypically and genetically. Genetically and phenotypically. Afro-Asiatics, Fulanis, Tutsis, those Oromos, they're phenotypically and genetically not African. They're linked to Caucasians and shit. Khois is linked to the blue eyes and Caucasians and the white skin in the Caucasus. And remember, this is for educational purposes. This may ruffle some feathers and shake up some caves. But we already showed the receipts. Let me see if I still got them. We know. Oh, now I come from... we're going to get you out of there for that one. Yeah, the cave gets no voice here. Go ahead and make another account and come back. Try again. But Fulanis, Bedouins, Berbers, Tutsis, we're not letting them creep in and sneak in no more. We know who they is now. These are half dogs. Hey, look, that's why they ain't in places that rain, because, you know, when the water hit them, they smell like wet dogs. They smell like wet dogs. That's why they got dog gods. Dogs is man's best friend. Even that werewolf disease. Wolf is a dog. Were is man wolf. So just like you got an angel, which is a man bird, a bird, that's a man, half bird. They got half dogs, half men, half goat men. It's crazy. These are the real animals. Look at this. Wolfman. Anubis. God backwards is dog. Dogmatic. The dog star. Don't they talk about dogs and stars all the time? Stars are light. They smell like dogs. You see what I'm saying? So God is the dog in this situation. They smell like dogs. That's where they get caught up on this Hotep situation. But all this is nothing but hybridism and them showing their animal genes. See, this shit ain't about gods. They're saying what type of animal genes they got. These are stories. This is a scientific breakdown of genetics. This ain't about no damn gods and all this crazy shit. And then if you really look into the Egyptian shit, it was chaos before all this fake ass god shit. It was a serpent. I don't know the real history of this watered down bird Egypt. It's a serpent situation. Every African situation is a serpent, is a python situation. It was always pythons, crocodiles. It was always stuff in the water, like animals in the water, elephants, hippos, crocodiles. It was reptiles, amphibians. It wasn't really like them lions, because them be some cave lions. Remember, we talked about cave lions. We don't really deal in cats and all that shit for real. Cats and dogs are the ones that overthrew the snake. Cats, remember Bass is a cat. The Anubis, he was the only one that was immune. Was that, that was Set. Set is Anubis, that's the same fucking thing. So Set was immune to chaos magic. Chaos is power. They overthrew the serpent. It was a dog god. It was Set. It was a cat god, Bass. It was a bird god, Ra. Another bird god, Tha. Another bird god, Mayat. See, look at this shit. Mayat's a bird. Tha, thought. God of writing. It's a bird. God of knowledge. Oh, look, law and order balance. They weigh your heart against a feather. A feather is a fucking bird. Feathers come from birds. No other animal produce feathers but birds. Don't they smell like dogs? You got the Wolfman disease. That's all in India and Mexico. You find hairy people, and the disease is called Wolfman disease. You find it in Hispanic people and Indian people. Wolfman diseases, which is the wolf is a dog. That's where you get a werewolf from. That's how they create mythologies looking at real people who are this hairy. They over-exaggerated to throw you off. This is an over-exaggeration of the truth. This is an over-exaggeration of werewolf syndrome. So remember, mythology and religion and fantasy is an over-exaggeration of reality. Is an over-exaggeration of some abnormality. Yeah, sometimes they Europeans, sometimes they Mongoloids. Oh yeah, this is what I wanted to break down. But I meant to put up the top. Up top was supposed to be Niger River, Niger Congo River, with the Bantu situation. That's what they was breaking down the difference. But the Bantu situation was of the medium height EU melanin brown, and that was mesomorph body type, medium built. In the Nilo situation, they was saying is a tall body type, which would be a ectomorph, tall, lean, and their skin type would be 6. Melanin would be black of the highest melanin. Skin type 6, melanin black. And a Bantu would be a skin type 5, mesomorph to ectomorph body type, medium height. So if we pulled up the pygmy would be the shortest. They would be ectomorph of the shortest, skin type 5. But you see this in the middle, that's red, both Cymatria. One call himself Gillick, both is fucking Gillick. Same head texture, same red skin. Herodotus said that you can switch Indian people with Ethiopian people. Wouldn't know the difference. Herodotus called India East Ethiopia. And India and Ethiopia got a long history of slave trading together. You know? Same head texture, same Dravidians, same Cymatria. Yeah, all that Afro-Asiatic is all cave. It's they got Caucasian skull. So when we go into the Caucasian skull, it says Caucasoid skull. We didn't make this document. I didn't make this document. I didn't dig up nobody's skull. I didn't take the skull of an unalive Caucasian, measured it, took a picture of it, and called it narrow, long, high bridge, nasal, bone, triangular, nose holes, straight profile, prominent nasal spine, steep nasals, slightest nasal slits, and slightest cheekbones. I didn't make that shit up. These are scientific definitions and descriptions of anthropology, which is the study of human beings. So according to the study of human beings, they found that the Arab, the Caucasian, the Kushite, Semite, Hamite all has the same nose type. So the Hamite, Kushite, white, and the Semite got a white skull type. So all the ites, all the HITEs and all the ITEs, the ites and the heights, your ass has got a Caucasian skull. Hmm? Y'all all of the same Abrahamic Caucasian nose family. Of course, you don't need to tell me your skull says white. You see what I'm saying? Caucasoid is European. These are Europeans. Dark skin, olive Europeans, pale Europeans, brown, red Europeans, yellow Europeans, Cushitic Europeans, Semitic Europeans, Afro-Asiatic Europeans, Arab Europeans, Ethiopian Europeans, Eritrean Europeans, Tutsi Europeans, Fulani Europeans, Bedouin Europeans, Indo-European Europeans. You understand? You see that little hat he got on? That sunscreen. That acts as sunscreen sunblock. That's shade. They're not indigenous to land. They're not indigenous to being in the sun. They're not indigenous to being in the sun. And then when you see that narrow nose, they live in high altitudes, mountains, desert climates, desert caves. So when they in them caves, they in that narrow nose region where it's high altitudes. It's high altitudes. Look at that. Y'all got the smallest nasal slits. So when it comes to the nose holes, you dealing with the triangle like your pyramid. So you got the pyramid, triangle. Wasn't this transatlantic slave trade? They followed a triangular route. So the triangle, which is triangle is a fire sign. Fire means transformation. Alchemy, alchemist, change, fire. In order to eat food, you need fire. And fire is the light. So fire, light, fire. Fire was the first form of illumination for the cave that they can control before electricity, which is lightning. Lightning is light, fire is light. All from the cave. So when they brought warfare, it's gunfire. So the word war means gun means war. So if you look at the etymology of the word gun, it means war. Gun was first known in the 14th century. The word Arab was first known in the 14th century. The word Indian was first known in the 14th century. The word Ethiopian was first known in the 14th century. The word Egyptian was first known in the 14th century. These are medieval people. We're talking medieval. This is medieval people. 14th century is medieval. And Arab is 14th century. All you gotta do is go to Merriam-Webster's dictionary and they give you mainly most of all the word history when it's first known. So go to Merriam-Webster's dictionary. Every word you type in, go to the word history. And it's going to tell you what century it was first known. Remember, these are Greek words. Ethiopia is Greek. Egypt is Greek. And these 14th century. Remember, the printing press is 14th century. So they didn't have no damn books. They was writing on goats. So remember, goat men who have a goat chromosome. So SLC is a goat chromosome. And the light skin gene that they have is a goat chromosome. So SLC is goat. SLC is light skin. SLC is pheomelanin. So when you look up the pheomelanin gene, it's an SLC gene. You look up the goat gene, it's an SLC gene. And you look at the Afro-Asiatic gene, it's an SLC gene. You look at the Khoisan gene, it's an SLC gene. Stop it. Yeah, I said goat. What you think the pan thing is about? Horn of Africa. That's the goat horn. Baphomet. It's a goat. Pan's a goat. The tropics of Capricorn. Capricorn's a goat. Peppercorn. The Khoisan's hair texture is called peppercorn. Peppercorn, Capricorn. Africa is situated between the tropics of Cancer and Capricorn. Well, not in it. There's most of us in it. Let me take that back because we got a lot of technical people. Africa is not in between the tropics of Capricorn and Cancer. Most of it is. You know, they want to be technical. You know, that's how they sound with the narrow nose. So when you have a narrow nose, your voice, your sound resonance. That's why people with wide noses have bass. They have baritone because we have wide noses, so our voices can get deeper. We can play around with the voice and the sound because our nose is wide. So that's your bass. So if you buy a bass for your speaker and it's big, it's loud. Hence, black people are always loud. We sound angry to them. That's why we get violated for hate speech for regularly talking. We be talking to people, hey, calm down. You're just angry. They can't even answer the damn question. You can ask the question, what color is this top? They say, hey, man, you're just jealous. You sound angry. Hey, man, calm down. I just want to have an intelligent conversation and be civilized. What color is this top? We can never get to what color of the top it is because we got to talk about my feelings, our feelings, black feelings. We got to talk about how black people feel instead of what black people are talking about. We got to talk about how black people is behaving instead of what black people are asking. It's no sharing when it's press 1 for English and 2 for Spanish. When your culture is suppressing my culture. When your language supersedes my language. When your culture supersedes me. When your laws control me. You got barbershops and alcohol and drugs and your guns around me. The environment shape you. They put guns in your environment. There's going to be bullets flying. They put cars in your environment. There's going to be car accidents. They put planes in your environment. There's going to be plane accidents. They put drugs in your environment. There's going to be drug addicts. There's going to be drug use. They put alcohol in your neighborhood, in your area, your environment. You're going to have alcohol poisoning. You're going to be an addict. So you got to understand these people are giving us the tools to hang ourselves and saying, look what you're doing to yourselves. They give us the guns and complain about using the guns. Talking about hey, why did you commit a crime? What are guns for? What do you think I brought a gun for? You see what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is we talking about? We got to explain something to these cave babies under there. It's called the law. The law is them. Allah. A law is Allah. We got to obey the light. You got to stop at the traffic light. That's the fucking light. Then I just say God is the light and they are the light. They light-skinned people. Let me change the visual so we can get it. We're not getting it. Let's get this. We got the genetic receipts right here in your fucking faces. Both of these shits is light-skinned genes. As you can see, the OCA, all these little dumbass words. We don't get caught up in all of the other shit. Just look for light. Stop at light skin. Stop at light skin. Because God is the light. So that's God's skin. Allah is the light. So that's Allah's skin. Okay? If God is the light and Allah is a light, that's Allah's skin in God's skin. Why you think they keep talking this with we're jealous of them? Our darkness is jealous of their light. That's what they're saying. You got to understand what's going on. This is our light people, light beings, light body. All that Jewish mysticism, that's light shit. A star on the Jewish flag, a star is a light. You look for the light to guidance when they all these migrations or whatever they want to call it. They used to use the stars to move around. That's light guidance. That's God guiding you. Remember, God is a light. So remember, God is a light. Allah is a light. Light skin means God's skin. Don't they say creator? They came from God. God created them. So if God is the light, he made light skin. God is the light. He made light skin. We're not beings of God. We come from the mother. We have mothers and fathers. We know there ain't no goddamn God in the light. That shit is the lie. It's a lie. It's not, excuse me, it's not a lie, it's a lie. Excuse me, it's not a law, it's the law. What's the fuck is the difference? What's the difference between a law and Allah? What is the difference between a law and Allah? Spelling? Is it the spelling? Because both of them pass out dictatorship. They tell you what and what not to do. Allah tells you what and what not to do. The law tells you what and what not to do. Nobody's above the law. Nobody's above God. Nobody's above Allah. Nobody's above a fucking mountain. Don't Afro-Asiatics live on mountain? Ain't the whole horn on their mountain? Ain't this called Ethiopian highlands? Don't goats live on mountain? Aren't they called mountain goats? Aren't these nomadic goat herders? Don't they got the SLC goat gene? Didn't we talk about this? So they got a goat gene. They herd goats. Goats live on mountains. They live on mountains. They drink goat milk. So that means they're lactose persistent. They can still drink. They drinking from their mother. They can drink goat milk because they can drink from their mother. If you got a goat chromosome, you can drink goat milk naturally as a goat. And remember, this for educational purposes. This may ruffle some feathers and shake up some K's, but here's your light skin receipts. Also, you have an orthognostic jaw, which means a straight jaw. Africans do not have an orthognostic jaw. So back to the African phenotype. We do not have a straight jaw. We do not have the light skin gene. We do not have the light skin gene. We do not have the light skin gene. This is basically what this is that you don't see. The Afro-Asiatic, this ain't nothing but a dark-skinned Caucasian European, Symmetrii. And the Khoisan ain't nothing but a dark-skinned Mongoloid with peppercorn hair. And remember, this for educational purposes. This may ruffle some feathers and shake up your nearest cave and flip your teepee and melt your igloo and knock over your mound. It might knock over your mound, your teepee. You see what I'm saying? Cause a sandstorm in your holiest desert. You see what I'm saying? Because every holy land is a desert. Y'all not getting how they talk about us? They say we come from jungles and all their religious stories is about deserts. They say we come from jungles and they show the Khoi in the desert, the Afro-Asiatic in the desert. All the stories, the Aztecs wander in the deserts, the Romans wander in the deserts, the Abrahams wander in the deserts, the Noahs in the deserts, in the mountains and shit for 50 years and walking around for 70 years and what the fuck? Like Gore. I'm watching Gore. I'm watching Thor, Love and Thunder, and Gore is wandering the desert. Ain't a goddamn thing to drink. Ain't a piece of grass to chew on. He's walking around till his daughter perishes. He stumbled upon vegetation in the jungle. So he's wandering the desert, ready to dehydrate and die. His daughter already died. He prayed to his sun gods. Nobody helped him. He walked into a forest/jungle where it was water. He dived in the water. He drank the water. He cut his hand on the all black. The sword is called Necro. Necro, C can be switched for G. C and G are sisters. C and G is sisters. So you can take the word C and switch it for the G, and Necro would mean Negro. Remember, this for educational purposes. So the Necro sword in comics is called the All Black. Mind you, he worshipped the light god. He had a sun necklace. So he cut his hand on the Necro/Negro sword which is a blood situation. The cut, the blood, the seal. Boom. He confronted his God. He said, hey man, we worshiped you. Ain't nothing. It's nothing left. He said it's a desert. So remember, wealth is not having a desert. So remember, if we tropical equator, we're walking around naked in the jungle, we had wealth. These people don't have wealth. A desert is not wealth. Ain't no water. Nothing to drink, nothing to eat, nothing grows. That's why they gotta be herders and walk around with the goat, the camel, and the cow to have something to eat, something to drink, something to wear. Remember, they wore goat, they wear goat, they write in goat. The Ethiopian Bible is a goat skin Bible. I said the Ethiopian Bible is a goat skin Bible from the 1400s. Y'all keep talking this fake ass ancient shit. This is medieval. All shit is medieval. Who that's trying to come on? I don't know who that is. And y'all don't really trying to interrupt my flow. But my bad. I might have let somebody up. I don't know who that is. I don't know right now. I'm in the zone. I'm possessed. I'm in a trance. See, y'all say y'all speak to the ancestors. The ancestors just possess my ass. It's a demonic possession. Remember, the demons can possess you involuntarily. Remember, they call us demons. Darkness. You see what I'm saying? We possess. We're not light. We're not dealing in the light. Not right now. I'm in the zone. Hold on. Who's this? Not really. But let me run these visuals. I'm going to let you up. I got you. All right, so look. You have the Negroid skull. You have the Negroid skull. So we got the receipts. We got the MSFs. We got the MFSD12 gene, which is a dark skin gene. I said we got the dark skin gene. They got the light skin gene. So remember, it's the opposites. It's duality. It's yin and yang. Remember, we would be yin. They would be yang. So when we talk African phenotype, it's a wide nose. It's full lips. It's protruding jaw. It's EU melanin. It's kinky hair. That's African. Black. That's where the cave people need diversity and say we all don't have to look alike. This when non-Africans say we don't have to look alike anymore. This when they say diversity. When we pull the receipts, we pull the dark skin gene receipts, we pull the Negroid skull receipts. This where they say diversity. Remember, wide noses produces wide noses. Kinky hair produces kinky hair. Climate don't affect your genetics. Genetics affect your genetics. Climate don't affect your genetics. Genetics affects your genetics. It's the only way you don't have African features no more if you breed it out of you. If you go straight narrow noses for the rest of your lineage, you're gonna have that means your mate is going to have a narrow nose. Then once you have a kid, your kid is going to have a baby with somebody with a narrow nose. And then that kid has a baby with somebody else that has a narrow nose, and then narrow out the nose. That's how you breed the features out. The climate don't do nothing to the fucking features. We can't be that slow. And it's called a theory. We can't be that slow. Could we? When it's called climate theory, Pangea theory, they be like, it was all connected, Pangea. That's a theory from a German meteorologist. Don't make me go to the receipts. The serpent is wise. We don't learn, we confirm. The serpent is wise. The serpent ain't read no fucking books. Dragons don't read no books. When you look into the mythology of serpent and water and the aquatic situation, we wisdom. We don't deal in books and writings and spells. That's white light caveman. All that hieroglyph is Greek for cave drawings, writings on carvings. That's caveman behavior. That's a caveman talking point they use against black people. They say black people, you don't have no history. History just means fucking writing on a cave wall. So when they say we don't have history, they say we didn't write on a fucking cave wall or make no Bible out of goat skin. You understand? It means that we ain't make no Bibles out of goat skin. So we just gonna put that on blast. That says Negro. We didn't make that up. Their science is on us. Their science means to know. Remember, it's know thyself and know thy enemy, so they dissected our ass. It just shows you that we had the dark skin gene, they had the light skin gene. Let's go through these visuals. Let's go through them visuals. And look, that's where you get the West African shit from. So when they say we don't have to have a big nose and big lips, we don't have to look West African. West African is the only African genetically. Since you want to be technical. If you want to call us West African, that would make you East Asian or North European. Because look at the top. It's black till black. Black, look, remember they call us monkeys, so because they say they put the monkey up there. It's a play on coming from monkeys. So up at the top you have a 1 that's dark, that's a monkey. It goes 5, it's still dark. 1 to 5 is dark. That's called a skin darkening event. 1 to 3 to 4 is light, skin lightening event. And also you see one of them definitions that says Adam 12. So as you said, that's East Asian. At the number 3, you look to the left, it says Adam 12. Adam and Eve bullshit. So you see Adam 12. You see? The gene is called Adam 12. Put it in your head. Adam 12. Adam 12. Light skin gene. So when they say we're West African or big lips and big nose, that's African features. So when you want to say we West African, that's the only African, which would make you not African at all. So we need to pick. They need to pick a side. Are your ass East Asian or North European? Which would make them the Afro-Asiatic would be the North European, and the Mongoloid would be the East Asian. I say the Afro-Asiatic will be the North European / the Nordic. And the Khoi would be the East Asian / the Mongoloid / mongrel. So as you can see, you have the light skin gene on the right, the dark skin gene on the left. So the dark skin gene is MFSD12 dark skin gene, wide nose, kinky head, protruding jaw. You can see it. That's who got it. People with kinky head, wide noses, and protruding jaw, that's EU melanin. Remember, that's dark pigment. So remember, I told you they red and yellow. That's why they light skin pigment. They're not black or brown. So that's not black or brown. That a Khoisan, the Afro-Asiatic, the Eurasian cave family. The entire Eurasian cave family is the out of Africa L3 Eurasian gene on the mitochondria side. So don't argue with me. Just do your homework, because your scientists say, yes, it's non-African. An L3 gene is the creator of all Eurasians. That's a non-African gene. They call it that. That's where you get the light, the out of Africa. So when you see the gene go from 1 to 5, that's West Africa, skin darkening, to 1 to 2 to 3, 4, a skin lightening event, that's the out of Africa bullshit. East Asian, North European is the out of Africa evolutionary theory bullshit. And remember, this evolutionary theory is Darwin getting off a boat into an island and seeing a bird's beak. So Darwin was inspired to create the evolutionary theory by seeing a bird beak. I say the Darwin theory is accredited to the Darwin bird. Look up Darwin bird. It's a bird. So you have Darwin, who's a person, came up with the goddamn evolution theory, which means people evolving like fucking Pokemon. Like we're in Pokemon. Like, oh shit, knocked it. Damn. You see that energy, that power? We be knocking the goddamn phone, the ground be vibrating. I said the ground be vibrating. I said this may ruffle some feathers and shake up some caves. I knocked the phone over. I ain't touched nothing. But you know me, I be pacing back and forth. That's just pure energy. See, energy is activity. Energy is activity, and what you do with your activity, what you do with your attention. That's energy. All the other shit is some made up spooky dookie dumb shit people talking about. Energy can't be created or destroyed. You can't test that bullshit they talking about. And what does that matter? Energy can't be created or... Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Where is it? Shit, what the happened to your battery? Your battery's dead? What we talking about? Energy and all this crazy shit. When you talk about high frequency and low frequency skin is light skin. Light skin is dealing with skin reflectance. Skin reflectance is dealing with the colors of the fucking rainbow. So remember, red reflects red, yellow reflects yellow, so that's still a reflectance. Hold on, let's change the visuals. So remember, dark absorbs, black absorbs, black absorbs, brown absorbs. Hence you have the EU melanin. EU means true melanin. Black and brown is not part of the light spectrum. As you can see, there's white light going through the prism, creating violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. You do not see black. You do not see brown. Black and brown is a type of melanin called EU melanin, which is a dark pigment. Remember, we just showed the MSDF12 dark skin gene. So dark skin means EU melanin because your EU melanin is your epidermis. So that is your goddamn skin, which is your goddamn surface. An object is seen as black if it absorbs. That's black body. That's physics. And look, remember how I showed that you had the kidnapper ant, who was the red ant. Then you had a slave ant, who was the black ant. So remember how I was saying we was different species? They acknowledge that a red ant is a different species from a black ant. And remember, the pheomelanin is red melanin. But ain't it ironic that the slave ant is the black ant? The kidnapper ant is the red ant. So if we were to put our story in the animal kingdom, in the insect world, black people would be the black ant. I mean, it's crazy, it's funny, but yeah. That's how you take that thing from macro to micro or micro to macro. Huh? You like how I did that? How I simplified that? I threw our whole goddamn history into the insect realm. But this is us, the black ant, the slave ant. You notice when we talk to all these Afro-Asiatics and these Indo-Europeans, once we make them mad, they call them slave. They call us slaves. I was talking to an Indo-European yesterday, a Hispanic cave baby. He was mad at me. He called me a black slave. Yeah. All of them do that. Hispanics call us slaves. Afro-Asiatics call us slaves. Europeans call us slaves. Caucasians, Asians, they're all the same people. All of them call us slaves. You just got to make them mad. Everybody call us slaves. They're just not mad. I mean, when they're mad, but when they're behind closed doors, they would call it slaves and monkeys. When they're in their cave secured, those blacks, those slaves, those monkeys. Hey, Bernardo, check this out. These blood red ants. Remember the red ants, red sea, red man, red skin. Remember, red is pheomelanin, Kushite, Indian, Dravidian, Arab. Red Sea, red land, Red Sea, slave trade, all that. So the red ant, which is the red man, kidnapped the black ant, which is the black race. Red ant, red man kidnaps the black nation. Black ant. What did it say? Assassinate the queen? See, ain't no damn king in the damn ant. Look, ant ancestry. That's why people talking about they got antennas on their head. Why you think people say they got antennas? Nine ether. My hair is antenna. Antenna, ancestry. Antenna. What are you trying to connect off Earth? Remember, we are grounded. We connect to the soil. We don't connect to no damn stars and all that crazy ass starlight shit. Alien shit. See, niggas either hotep or caught in space. See, black people either in a religion or in space, which is the same thing. None of the shit you can touch and reach. None of the shit you can get to. Drive me to your religion and drive me to the space and the galaxies and all this stupid antenna shit you speak of. These little stupid ass galaxies. And galaxy means milk. So different milk brands of the Milky Way galaxy. But this is our situation in a nutshell. Assassinate the queen, kidnap the kids, next generation of slaves. They do it because they're a different species. What's happening? What's happening? All right, we got more of the ant situation. So look, they kidnapped the black ant's children and they put a pheromone on them, which is a form of like brain control, mind control, because they're pheromones. That's how they communicate, through chemical signals. So they put this chemical pheromone on the black ants so the black ants can't distinguish them from another ant. Look what that say. The Amazon ants cover the formicide with their scent so that when they emerge, they accept the ants as part of their own, as part of their family. It says the Amazon ant covers the black ant in their scent, so when they emerge, they accept the Amazon ants as part of their family. They said the red ant put their scent on the baby black ant. Ain't even walking around, can't even do nothing yet. They put their scent on an unknowing, innocent, unprotected baby of another species, might we add? Because remember, that's why they do it, because we ain't of the same species. That's why they can enslave us and murder us with no regard, because we're not of the same yoke. We're not of the same stock. If a red ant and a black ant is two different species, a red man and a black man is two different species. A red race and a black race is two different species. Which we already know. Hold up, let's get some more visuals up here. So again, it's right there. Look, evolution, the word that they use, that the same the cave baby use, evolution. Look, it called slave ants, the black ant slave ants. The black ants is the slave ants. How blood red ants became slave snatchers. Goddamn ants. Red ants is slave snatching black ants. Goddamn, if you black people or a black ant, you fucked up. You're cursed. Even when they depict the curse, it's always depicted as black. Something bad depicted as black. Negative depicted as black. I mean, you curse. When you born black, you born a slave. Black ant called a slave ant. Look, servi. Look, S-E-R. That's look, servants. Servant, service, servant. That's still a slave. So servi is short. It could be the shortage of service. Wasn't slave labor, forced labor, was us to service them. We service them. You pay your taxes. You feed the bird. Let's go through these visuals real quick. I ain't about to be on too long. So look, we already exposed R1B, Chadic, that's German. E1B1B, that's Caucasian. So you see that all that E1B1B, that Kushite E1B1B, that Mediterranean E1B1B, that Berber E1B1B, that's where you get that Afro-Asiatic situation. And the R1B is German. That's Hausa. That's that Hausa Fulani situation. But they had that Fulani under the Niger-Congo language family. But like the professor said, it could have been a switch out. Or it is a switch out. Because they've been replacing people. They replace people. Remember, they're using the melanated situation. But they're replacing us with narrow-nosed people and straight-haired people. Y'all be in the zone, man. No offense to the brothers and the sisters in the chat, in the comments. I be in the zone. And a lot of times when I invite people up, it'll break my stride. And a lot of times I go off topic and end up getting violated. So I be letting people up in that they either cause a violation or cause me to get violated. So that's why a lot of times I don't do it. That's another reason. But back to the point. You find these cave babies in Africa all in these unsuitable soiled areas. All the soil is unsuitable. Remember we talked about how their camels eat up all the damn vegetation. And EX was talking yesterday how goats rip the grass out the roots, so the goats damage the soil. And then they don't need the soil anyway because these are camel people. The camels and the goats can walk better on them desert type of floors. So as you can see, E1B1B, all the E1B1Bs, even the Kois, they're always in the areas that's a desert climate, so they're always in the red. Less rain. So when you see both maps at the bottom left, that's a map of rain. The map on the bottom right, that's a map of humidity. As you can see, the map of humidity, they live in the red, so they're living outside the humidity. They're living over the steppe with the climate change. So that's where you'll find the nomadic pastoral goat herders, the Afro-Asiatics, the Tutsis, the Fulanis, the Bedouins, the Berbers, and any other cave baby who's lactose persistent and have a light skin gene. So that's what you got. That they always on unsuitable soil, dead soil, unfertile soil. And there ain't places, there never at places where it rain. Because remember, that water hit them, they get to smell like dogs. See what I'm saying? When the water hit them, they get to smelling like dogs. And look, remember they was talking about how they put the scent on them. Remember the fragrances, you got to cover up your scent in today's society. You got to wear deodorant. You got to put something on your underarms. Your underarms is how you emit your pheromones. Most of your pheromones. Your underarm is how you release your toxins. So remember, we're talking about chemical communication. When you smell somebody, they smell like a dog, or they smell like something. So that's chemical communication. So now we're in this modernized world where everything is some artificial communication. Whether it's your chemicals, you're wearing fake shit, lotion, grease, shampoo, that shit ain't natural. Bottles of lotion don't grow out the ground. It's not in its natural state. They don't come in a fucking liquid. You see what I'm saying? So anytime you want to get something and it's coming in plastic or in a bottle, that right there takes it out of its natural quality and its natural context. The shit probably came in a solid form, a dust form, a ice form. Either way, it doesn't come in a bottle. It doesn't come FDA approved, mixed with the 75 different other fucking things we don't know about. Natural is natural. That shit don't grow out the ground. That shit ain't natural. You see what I'm saying? If it ain't birthed, it ain't natural. See what I'm saying? Guns don't grow out the ground. Books don't grow out the ground. Writing don't grow out the ground. A pencil don't grow out the ground. Remember, they was writing with a bird feather or writing on a goat. They was using the goat skin to make a Bible out of. So when we talk about naturality, we are the beings of nature. That's why we got the natural hair movements. No clothes, no shoes. Because if you come from summer, you come from tropical equatorial environment, you don't need none of that shit. They need the cave to get out the sun. They need a cave to hibernate in. They need a cave to migrate in when you're not indigenous to land itself. And also you're in a place that has a winter climate. No human being is indigenous to places that snow because you can't naturally survive. If you cannot naturally survive in that place, you are not indigenous to it. You understand? If you can't naturally survive, you're not indigenous. But I'm going to let some of the guests say something. I'm going to let y'all add.
Hi, my brother. Thank you for having me, and it's always a pleasure. I'm always open up to knowledge and information. And you struck a point there that get me somewhat illuminated because I had wanted to know this subject matter, and you bring it out to the forefront about the Fulani and the Hausa people. I heard one story that the Hausa, they're connected to the Germans, but I wasn't too sure on that because there weren't a lot of information, but a few that I've read give some inclination to that. But from Nigeria, you wouldn't hear people saying that. Primarily, they will talk about the Fulanis. They are more of the Yemenis, Asiatic people. They came down along the line and they settled in Nigeria for about 200 years, from 200 years ago. And they farm based there. Not only in Nigeria, but parts of Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger. And the Fulanis, they come and they latch on to the Hausa people. They didn't latch on to the Igbos or Yoruba tribe. They latch on to the Hausa, which they find some level of comfort in, and there they base the connectivity. So I was wanting to know how these people get to tie into the Hausa group. And usually they are more of a Eurasia kind of people. And that's the area that still leave a blank blank point for me. But you have brought in that to nail in that area that I was looking to get some level of validation and information from. So I don't know if you can bring some more light to that aspect so that I can at least have something to go with to say well, look, I have some level of knowledgeability on the connection between the Falanis and the Hausas and where they came from or the descendant of these people. Thank you.
So remember, the house is like you point out, is Eurasian. So remember, Eurasian just means non-African, and you can tell who's who based on our phenotype. That's why we stress the point: phenotype is your appearance. Know thyself, know thy enemy. So when you look at the Fulanis, the Hausas, the Tutsis, the entire Afro-Asiatics, all of them have a lactose persistent gene. All of them are nomadic pastoral. All of them don't and won't have our features, which would be a wide nose, protruding jaw, kinky hair, EU melanin. Some of them be having them pointy nose. You understand?
Yes, that's something that I've now because I'm not on the continent. I'm a brother who have been displaced through the capturing and enslavement of our people, which they use. Indeed, you hit it on all corners. Some it may be deep for some to understand it, but we who have experienced the kind of prosecution and the enslavement through the process of time can tell the effect of these things on us. And so when you say certain things, I understand, because sometimes I go looking for answers, because I'm not a person who would sit idle by and just consume ideas. I look for answers to the question that may arouse in my head. And so you bring some information which sometimes brings some level of curiosity, epiphany. And I feel so good because when I'm listening to an informed brother, I will not move from his life, because it brings some level of awareness so that I can spit the same idea out to other people, because each one teach each one, and it plays a fundamental role to our growth and development, and to also to our internal security, especially when you were talking about the red ants and the black ants. It is actually going on right now. They're shaking the jar with the red ants and the black ants, and the red ants and the black ants, they're fighting, and they're being blinded about the whole issue of what is happening, because this was set in motion a very long time ago. And I'm happy that you're bringing these things to fruition, or to our ideals, so that we can use these as mechanism to drive our point to our people. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Because they always try to use talking points like, where's your receipts? Where's your evidence? See, when we go into their genes and we can show that the SLC gene, that light skin gene they got, is a goat gene, they ain't got nothing to say. When we can show that the SLC that is the same gene as the pheomelanin, which is the red and yellow, is all SLC, they ain't got nothing to say. But that's the solute carrier. So that's why I break them down. They show us and everybody else that they're not African inside or outside. They're trying to be paperwork Africans, in theory Africans, but phenotypically they're not African. Genetically they're not African. Culturally they're not African. Nothing about them is African. Goats and clothes, none of that is an African thing. All that sultans and kingdoms and religions, that's not African. All that writing stuff, that's cave. That's where you get these hoteps glorifying Egypt or being a pretendian. We dealing with the jungles. We coming from the jungles. We coming from tropical equator. These are desert stories and desert people. That's why I showed a map of the climate. All these people only sit in the desert. So just like you was asking about the houses in the Fulani, those are all where the desert at, where they put the goats at. The goats can make a desert. So when you see goats, you won't see no damn grass, because the goats will eat up everything. And remember, goats are indigenous to Asia. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so like for instance, I look at the Dahanawa tribe, I look at the Dinkas and the Nars. Those are from Sudan. A lot of these people are from Yemen. And if you look across the border from Ethiopia, you find a lot of these people. Most of them still, even in Sudan, still practice the Hindu-like culture. right? And in the Dahanawa tribe, you see some of the remnant of these Hindustani Asiatic culture still plays in the lifestyle. And that's why when you bring up these points, it gives some level of fruition to my understanding of the nature of infiltration in our society, to which we are heavily enshrouded in division because of these infiltration. And once you start bringing people to this awareness, we can unify our approach to alter the course and the trajectory where we're heading. And this is very important, especially from a person like you who are well informed. I follow you because every time you are online or on air, I'm going to listen because I'm learning at the same time. And there's a lot of things that need to be deciphered that I can learn from you, and also to take the necessary course as a budding clinical psychologist to help my people on this reformation of the mental structure.
Yeah, that's fine, my brother. Listen, we don't do nothing but arm each other with knowledge. Like General Seti said, arm yourself with knowledge, bang on that wicked ass beast daily, and knowledge through African liberation. See, remember, what we doing is giving each other weapons. These information is weapons because they use that against us when they say who, what, where, when, and how. So when we pull up the receipts, as we can see on the screen right here, Caucasoid is North and East Africa, the Horn of Africa specifically, Hamitic, Berber, Kushite, Egyptian, Semitic languages, Indo-European, Aryan. It's all right here. And it's about physical anthropology. It ain't about color. It's about narrow noses. So anybody with a narrow nose is Caucasian. And then you have at the bottom of the screen, it says Indians and Europeans share the same light skin mutation. So we got up on the other screen, it says SLC is the light skin gene. This is Ethiopia, Tanzania, 2 slave trade posts, Ethiopia and Tanzania. This is the Silk Road slave trade. 2 slave ports with the East African slave trade, the Red Indian Ocean slave trade. But it says Caucasoid at the top of the screen, and it says physical type, physical anthropology. It's the smooth hair. It's the thin lips. That's what they're saying in so many words. See, when you see these people say, oh, they got melanin, they got melanin. Yeah, but the scientists will say they're light skinned. So you see melanin, scientists say light skin gene mutation. And we want to say it's melanated people all over the place, but we're not. They are the light skin melanated, the pheo melanated. We are the EU melanated. So remember, the SLC is a goat gene, a pheomelanin gene, a Khoisan gene, an Afro-Asiatic gene, a Tutsi or Fulani, Bedouin Berber gene. I'm mad I just erased some of my photos from my gallery because I did have those people who wasn't African in Africa. So the way you find out who is and who is not African in Africa, the culture you want to look for is nomadic pastoral. That's a non-African cult. That's a non-African thing. Look for lactose persistent, meaning the ability to drink milk. That's a non-African trait. It's not about whether we drink it or not. It's about having the ability to drink it naturally. Because remember, calcium is for weak bone people. African people have the strongest, densest bones. We don't need fucking milk. Children need milk. You understand? You're supposed to only drink your mother's milk. And remember, they have a goat chromosome, so they can always drink goat milk as genetically goat people. You understand? So this SLC gene is a goat chromosome. And they drink goat milk, eat goat meat, jerk chicken, goat curry chicken. We eat the goat too, though. I like curry chicken. But remember, they are goats, so that's where you get that you are what you eat shit from. That's why they probably don't eat goat. They ain't gonna eat their own kind. I don't see too many Afro-Asiatics and no white people eating goat. I guess if they do, it's going to be cannibalism. See, if we eat goat, it's called curry chicken. If they eat goat, that's cannibalism. You can't eat your own kind. But the animal gene that they respect in themselves the most is the bird. You don't eat no eagles. You don't. They don't let us eat nothing that fly too much. You can eat the chicken, cause that don't fly. You can eat the duck, cause that's in the water. But you ain't eating that eagle, cause they say they got an eagle nose. You can't eat an eagle if the coat of arms for Egypt is the eagle of Saladin. You can't eat an eagle if Jupiter turned into an eagle. If Odin turned into an eagle. If Zeus turned into an eagle. You can't eat birds if these gods are birds. If God said in the Bible he will cover you with his wings and feathers, you're not allowed to eat birds. God's a bird. And Allah said he holds up the birds. Allah said Solomon was taught the language of birds. It's fucking bird people. Columba means bird. So Columbus, that means bird. That's a bird. It's a bird constellation. And it's a saint. So it's a white man named Columba. It's a bird named Columba. And it's a constellation represented as a bird named Columba. It's all bird shit. These are bird people. That's why the god is a bird and the light. The phoenix is a light or a thunderbird.
Hello.
Are you representing the bird?
Yeah, I'm part of the bird community. But I want to ask you, you just talk about the the haplogroups. You talk about the E, 1B stuff and J in Horn
E1B,
Africa.
1B.
Yeah, and the J haplogroup.
Yeah, I didn't bring up J though.
Okay, but there's another one called T haplogroup that is mostly found in Horn Africa, in North Horn African regions, and it's like 90% there and in Middle East and in Europe. But no one really knows its origin. Like some people say it's Egypt. Some say it's in the Fertile Crescent area, like the Mesopotamia, And I didn't know Fulanis were, like, when I have seen Fulani people, they don't look Hamitic. Maybe, the paternal line is not African, but it's surprising. Because
Yeah,
they do not
they
look like Hamitic.
so remember Chadic is Hausa. So remember that Hausa is like in that Fulani falls under that Niger Congo language. So if you look up the Fulani language, it falls under the Niger Congo. Hausa will fall under the Afro-Asiatic.
Okay.
You see?
Oh, so yeah, so they have like they don't have a Hamitic language, you're saying?
Right. So they fall under a different language group, and they would be different from y'all. Even though they're the same, they both nomadic pastoral.
Okay, that's a new thing I today learned. Fulanis are Hamitic by genetically, like they are Hamitic, but they don't have Hamitic like language.
Right.
They have Hamitic culture, like they're nomads.
Yeah,
but they don't have the language.
Yeah, they don't have the language.
Like
That's
Tutsi
it.
people. They like the Tutsi, right?
Yep, same thing.
They speak Bantu language, but they are like, okay.
Yep. So the R1B Chadic is a non-African. The E1B1B is non-African. All those groups are back migrations into Africa. So remember,
I agree. We're not African. Like, I mean, African. Some people will say Africa. The name Africa was a Roman guy, but I understand what you mean. Like African, who's native to Africa? Well, it's the people that can survive in Africa, like in the tropical lands. even though Africa's continent, we have the desert part of Africa, and then you have the tropical lands. Yeah. So yeah, I agree. I'm not native, but I think I have like a
You won the
because
war. Listen, y'all won the war. That's what winning and conquering just means. So we took the word conquering and domination and turned it into being native and indigenous, and people saying we've been here for 1,000 years, which would only mean you just been conquering and dominating for 1,000 years. That doesn't mean you're indigenous. You understand? Your
I
reign,
get it.
your
I get it.
supremacy has been for 1,000 years. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
You have been the landowners, the colonial land title owners, the face of the money, the royalty, you
You're
understand?
talking about the Anglo-Saxons now. They don't like us either, even though we're related. They hate us too.
Well, remember y'all just playing the color game. So y'all, even though y'all all the same people, it's just a different color situation. So y'all have your own caste systems within yourselves too. But that's why y'all was over here, because y'all was beefing with them too. So y'all was warring with y'all other fellow narrow nose family.
Listen, they hate you people so much
Mhm.
that they hate us too because we're dark-skinned.
Yeah,
They
they hate that.
you people so much that they hate us too because of our skin color. That's the truth. They can't stand the idea that they are related to us because they are ignorant and arrogant and just, they believe in the notion that they were white-skinned Aryans and they came to Africa and created the Hamitic people. When actually, we went to Europe and made them.
Listen, y'all having a chicken. What came first, the chicken or the egg beef? Y'all having a chicken before. You ever heard that before? Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
That's how y'all. That's what y'all doing. It's like, who's the mother and or and who's the child?
Yeah.
I'm going back to 505. Hey, bro, what's the topic about, little bro?
I had to drop him off at the nearest cave. That threw me off. That threw the whole conversation off. But yeah. So y'all having a battle, but to my understanding, dark would come before light. Even though technically, you do know you're not dark skinned, right?
No, I meant in a way that you know what I meant.
I
Like,
mean, I know what you mean, but do you know you're not dark skinned?
no, I'm not dark-skinned.
Right. So that's a good thing. So, but the point is, they do see y'all as different, and they actually classify themselves as blue, and y'all are actually classified as a dark red.
Yep.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't. So they are blue, but we have the blue flag.
Yeah,
So
y'all got the
that
blue flag because remember, y'all still connected to y'all blue side. Remember, y'all still Caucasians. Y'all still Caucasian. So
well,
y'all would be milk with chocolate in it instead of creamer. I mean, instead of coffee with creamer. You understand?
yeah, I get it.
You're chocolate milk. So that means your foundation is still Caucasoid. You're just called they used to call y'all malignocroid. Malignocroid means dark skinned Caucasians.
Yep.
Crazy,
Yeah.
right?
It's crazy, yes. But you know what? If you look at all Hamitic people and those that are like they like the most are the Tutsi people. The Tutsi in the southern, Southeast Africa, those are the ones they love the most because they don't revolt. They obey the Anglo-Saxons, they obey them, The rest of us, we don't obey them. And that's why we don't have a country, really. We don't have any country. The Tutsi have a country. The Tutsi are even behind the Congo situation. You know, they've been used by the their friends, to cause more chaos and bloodshed in Congo. Yeah. Who's this person?
Yeah, so that's a Tutsi right there. But
Yeah.
I couldn't get the screen smaller, but it would have showed you a Tutsi next to a Hutu. And just like you was
Yeah.
mentioning, yeah, with that's why we knowing that now, because actually black people ain't know who black people was. So this is what this live is about. Black people don't know who black people are.
Mm-hmm.
Because
yeah, they don't.
because
Unfortunately, they don't.
because we're claiming to be y'all.
It's like, I don't blame the black people because, some of my cousins, these Anglo-Saxons, they have almost rewrite the history, and people are confused. But, now the truth is coming out, who's really black, who's really Bantu, who's really, a Hamitic. People are now, learning the real history. And that's a good thing. It means, that the Anglo-Saxons, their influence is slowly decreasing, They are slowly losing power.
Come on, let me tell you something too. Because it's been some secret operations coming out the horn. It was a secret organization called some type of star situation in Ethiopia. Some type of star organization that was funding the Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam in America is teaching black people and telling black people that they're Asiatics and they once had straight hair and narrow noses, but became cursed, became a jungle people. So Louis Farrakhan is telling black people that we are despised by our other black family who has a straight nose, thin lips, and straight hair, which marks us as a different people. So they're telling us that we are Asiatic, and as well as the More Science. So More Science in America is teaching black people that they're Asians. Nation of Islam is teaching black people that they're Asians. The Pan-African Marcus Garvey is connecting us to Ethiopia, which is connecting us to Haile Selassie, and he's not black. So every organization and thing that's available to black people tell black people they're Asians.
Yeah, and I never understood why do Afro-Americans or Bantu people in general, why do you guys love Ethiopians?
Because they're telling people that everybody comes from Ethiopia and Ethiopia is the cradle of civilization. Haile Selassie, Haile Selassie.
Oh my God. Yo, yeah, the propaganda, the brainwashing, I get it. But you guys don't get it. Like, at least the Somalis, they are honest to you. The Somalis, you can say whatever you want to them. They are honest. They will say everything they feel back. But the Ethiopians, those snakes, you guys don't know how much they hate you. You guys do not know. They are worse. They're worse. Why? Because they are telling you they got never colonized, which is wrong. They got colonized. Not only did they not got colonized, they were working with the enemy to enslave Congo, Rwanda, Tanzania, all those places. But they told you that they were bringing peace and African unity. And you guys joined them and you guys believed them that you guys went them like a pilgrimage, to Haile Selassie, that fucking bastard.
Time out,
Everyone
time
in
out,
one Africa
time out.
they hate him.
No, listen, time
He's
out, time out.
fucking Satan.
Let me explain the whys, cause listen, the reason why we became Christians and Muslims in the first place was to escape slavery or death. And the only reason why we pick a side, because we're picking a less severe slave master, a less severe slave whipping. So when we choose y'all as an enslaver over your white enslaver brother, or your distant Asian Mongoloid enslaver, because all y'all had as slaves, the Mongoloids, the Afro-Asiatics, Indo-European, Hispanics, all of it. All y'all passed us around as a trade. That was the first form of currency, money, and labor force. So when you look into that part, we picking different masters based on the torture and the punishment that we would expect from dealing with either one of y'all. So we're just picking the lesser two evils. We don't actually have a choice. If you look at the 48 laws of power, they say, put your enemies in between the bull horns. Whether they go left or right, they still get stabbed. So we get stabbed either way, whether we go with y'all or them. But y'all actually had us under slavery longer than the European. Y'all slavery run for 1,000 years, and as an economic powerhouse for the Horn as well as the North. You understand that?
I understand, yes.
So remember, when you see, reason why you wouldn't understand, because you're not in this position. So that's why I can give you the breakdown from the inside, speaking
your
out.
perspective. Yeah, I'm actually very, very grateful. You guys are you're opening my mind. Why would a Bantu person believe in Ethiopian Haile Selassie person? Because I was so confused. But now I get it. It was like the better or the worse. Both are evil. Choose one.
Yep. So look, check this. Also, black people are submissive people. We are submissive people because we've been traumatized and beaten into submission. See, we're not a suicidal people like other people who can't be enslaved because they would suicide themselves out of existence. Damn near. And so we already see me. I know every place been colonized. Hence, we're speaking English every goddamn where. So I don't need nobody to tell me whether who or what wasn't colonized or not. I can just look at the official language of the government, and it's going to be English, Arabic, or some type of English, Arabic related language. Afro-Asiatic or Indo-European, everywhere. If it ain't Mongoloid. So the dominant language groups is Afro-Asiatic, Indo-European, then you got the Chinese situation. It's never Bantu, it's never Niger Congo, it's never Nilo-Saharan. So if you notice, the conqueror, their language and their genome is inside and outside different continents. Hence, you had the word Afro-Asiatic. We're called Africans, you call Afro-Asiatic. Hence, 2 damn continents. So your language extends in Asia and Africa, as well as your genetics is in Europe, Asia, and Africa. So if you look up your E1B1B haplogroup, which is the father side, you're going to find that in Europe and the Balkans. Or they might call it E3B1. It's still going to be found in Europe. Or if we trace your mother mitochondria, which is L3, that L3 is classified as a non-African, out of Africa, Eurasian gene that goes over in India and created the mitochondria M, which is the Dravidian and the Indian. So they say you create the mitochondria M in India, then come back into Ethiopia as an M1. So you're not even an L3 no more. You leave out of Africa as an L3, become a M, come back to Africa as a M1 from your mitochondria mom side, which is the out of Africa non-African gene. Did you know that?
No, I thought the L was Nilotic.
No. Listen. No, listen to what I'm saying. L3.
Ah, L3 is different then.
Yes. So listen, you
Different
have
code.
a bunch of L's. L's is classified as the Eve mitochondria.
Yeah.
Your mitochondria is the out of Africa, non-Africa progenitor of Eurasians, L3.
Ah, okay.
My L1 and L2 is concentrated only in Africa, in West Africa. So that's where you get the Niger Congo Bantu situation. So when you look up the Bantu languages, it's classified as Niger Congo. So that's Niger River to the Congo River. That's why we actually named after rivers. Y'all named after y'all countries in the states and in the sea. We're named after the river. So you got the Nilo-Saharan. They're named after the Nile River. Then you have the Bantu. We're named after the Niger Congo rivers. Or you got the brothers and sisters in the east on the Horn, the Zambezi River. We're river people.
Yeah, that's interesting. But my family, like our haplogroup is not even E1B. What was it? E1B1, whatever. That
Yeah,
one. We don't
yeah.
have that.
So what is it?
T.
Where the hell is the
We have
T at?
T. It's a mystery. No one really knows. Some people say it's Mesopotamian. Some people say it was because it's a like different brand from E.
So
Right?
look.
T is a different from E.
Well, look. The map right here on the board. So the dominant types is E and A for the most part. You got the E's, E1B1A, which is Bantu, Niger, Congo. Then you got the Afro-Asiatic, which is E1B1B. Then you got the Nilotics A3. You got the Chadic R1B. You got the Pygmy B2. There is no goddamn. And then you got the J coming into Africa. So the J is dominant in the Middle East, but it leaks into Africa. There is no T. And the T can probably be all the way in Asia somewhere or Europe. So I would have to get a bigger haplogroup map. Because the T is probably all the way over there in China or some goddamn way.
Yeah, it's a completely different branch. So that's why I was like asking you, because you seem to be very knowledgeable about this.
Oh, I'm going to find it. See, I've been concentrated on Africa. I didn't go all the way up in the T's. I've been staying from the E and down. But since you got me on that T game, I'm going to have to find your cave. I'm going to find your nest. I'm going to find your home. I'm going to find your home. You gave me something new to study. I really appreciate you.
Good to talk, even though we have different ideologies. It's good way, people to communicate.
As my former employer / enslaver, and as your former slave. It's weird. I mean, the conversation is weird, especially if you know history. It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. You're right. It's weird.
Because we're not pretending. See, when we're in the position where we got to pretend, like, I see what's going on because I know people, I know culture, I know, like, for example, the people that sell us lottery tickets over here be Muslims and they be from the Middle East and they would tell us good luck. And me having knowledge of Muslims, they don't believe in luck. So I pay attention to everything. And people do that for business. In the Middle East, they in some countries, they just been allowed to sell wine. Oh yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the Ethiopian thing, them hating us. I know that Ethiopians hate us more than Somalians because the Ethiopians sell most of the cancer-causing products. I don't run across too many Somalian-owned businesses that sell us cancer-producing products, or like the Arab giving us the alcohol poisoning. See, everybody poisons us to a degree. The Ethiopian poison our lungs over here in America, or they run the nightclubs. The Chinese people, they poison our food and the hair products. And the Arab got the alcohol, the guns, and the weed. The weed come from The word Kush, the Kush we smoke, the Kush come from the Middle East. So all the drugs, all the poisons, and all the stuff is really that we do is when we're around y'all.
Yeah. I just Googled some people that have T Hablo group,
Mhm.
and I have found all the Russian royal family have the T Hablo group. The some like all the like royalty families, they have the T Hablo group. So yeah, they have connection all the way to Europe. That's
Shit,
in-
which you too? Because remember, you just said yours was T, and that's what you get the nobility from. The nobility and royalty is the same thing.
Yeah, so they have tea, like I don't know if you know a person called George, Nicholas, Olav, these type of people. If you just Google T haplogroup royal famous people in Europe, you'll find them. So yeah, it's very interesting to see. Like you were telling truth that we're not really native to Africa. You know?
Yeah, cause look, here's the thing. This how I first knew. God damn, we just got a warning. We just got a warning. All right, so look, I'm about to go pull some visuals on this T Haplo group, and I'll be back in like 10 minutes because I still want to say this live. This is very informative. I want to say this before it get restricted because a lot of times all my lives get restricted. All my lives. Every time I talk is hate speech and hateful behavior. So we're going to stop this live. We want to thank everybody for coming. We're going to start a new one. We're going to come back with some T3 Haplo group research. I'm going to say 10 to 20 minutes because I got it. I put it together. We're going to come with some knowledgeable, informed.
Is it this account?
Yeah, this account. So yeah, I'm going to come back alive with this account like 20 minutes. And we're going to break down this T3.
Fine. Okay.
All right. Thanks for stopping by. We're going to start this over.
Yeah. I'll be there too.
All right, bet. We're going to stop the live to protect the live, and we're going to regroup. We're going to go in this T3 Haplo group. We got some new information. The E1B1B is a cover-up for the T3 game, perhaps. We got to look into the E1B1B, and also we're going to pull that Fulani genetic. We're going to pull the Hausa genetic. We're going to show and prove that it's nomadic, pastoral, lactose persistent with a Northern European gene. We're going to show that the culture is Northern European Indian, but we're going to come back with the 5.